Hello everyone, and today I'm in something of a little beast of a machine. This is a Mercedes C63, wait for it, S. Not the regular one, the S. And this is the car, take a look at it. Look at this is really nice. Got this nice bucket seats, yellow stitching on the cars, on the seats themselves, and this carbon fiber effect. Waterfall central console here with the new toggle switches. We've all seen this in the new C-Class anyway. The C-Class has been around for nearly a couple of years now, the new one. But now we've had our chance to, this is actually our first chance to get hold of the AMG version, the C63. Now what can I tell you about the C63? Well, it's got the same engines as the saloon. This of course is the coupe version. Same engine as the saloon, which is the 4-litre V8 bi-turbo, which of course is based on the engine out of the AMG GT. Now the car in regular form, that's not the S form, the regular flavor, produces 469 brake horsepower and 479 pounds-foot of torque. And that is good enough to get it from 0 to 100 in 4 seconds dead. That's for the coupe version. Now go up to the S version and you get 503 brake horsepower, so that's about 30 extra brake horsepower or more, and 516 pounds-foot of torque, and you gain a tenth of a second. So 0 to 100 is 3.9, so it's not significant. And top speed of course again is 250 because they're limited, although you can have the limiter taken off, and then if you do, this one will get up to about 290 kilometers per hour, which is pretty extraordinary actually. It has a 3-stage adaptive suspension, as you would expect. It's got a load of drive modes here. So in the center console here, just going through this, you've got the regular buttons here down for the normal, infotainment systems and what have you. This is nice because underneath this bit here are the 2 cup holders and a little tray and a power supply. Little tray. The phone fits quite nicely on there, so that's quite handy. You've got dynamic control here, which if you push, you can see it comes up onto this screen over here. And you've got comfort mode, which to be honest, around town, I've been driving it in comfort mode. That's perfectly good enough for this car. It's got a lot of power, let's be honest. And you can have sports, and you can have, where are we? You can have sport, and you can have sports plus. Sports Plus gives you even more. Now what does it affect? It affects the suspension, affects the transmission, and it affects the stability control, the ESP, and changes that according to what you would be expecting. Now if you don't like any of those, and the reason I say that, oh by the way, there's a race mode, but we're not going to try that because we should be on a track to do that, and we're not on a track, we're on a public road. So once we get going on this little road, we will put it into Sports Plus. We'll go sports, and then we'll go sports plus. I should just mention that in sports, what happens is you get a slightly brittle, firmer suspension and a little bit more road noise. And if you don't want that, there is an individual mode. So if you go into the individual mode, you can configure manually whether you want the engine in sports or sports plus, or the suspension, as the transmission, or of course the ESP as well. Quite comfortable, quite low set. Another thing I should mention, the difference between pretty much the same as the saloon, but the C-Class is wider. It's wider, and it's got wider track, it's got extended wheel arches, it's got more aggressive front on it. That spoiler and that front grille is a bit different. It's got a wider air intake to let in cooling for the engine and for the brakes, and it's got these ribs on the bonnet as well, so extra muscular ribs on it. This one's also got racing stripes, so it should be really quick. Yeah, anyway, so down here you got this little cubby box, and in the cubby box there's 2 USBs and an SD card as well. There's a rear AC vent, two rear AC vents, and ISOFIX seats as well in the back. And I have had my kid in the back, and she's been okay, but to be honest, I'd say they're occasional seats. I don't think I would like to try and travel in those at all. It's got Burmeister sound system, which is one of the best sound systems out there, and is deserving of a car like this. Although I haven't seen, I've tried the Burmeister in other Mercedes, but I've never seen it as excellently executed as it is in the S-Class. In the S-Class, it is tremendous. Now, before we set off, I'll just give you the prices because I won't be able to read these out whilst I'm driving. And just for comparison, I'll give you the saloon prices as well. So the saloon C63 is 330,000 dirhams, which is about $90,000. The coupe C63 is 369,000 dirhams, which is $100,000. So like $10,000 more for the coupe version. And for the Saloon S version, you pay 359,000 dirhams, which is $98,000. And for the Coupe S version, you pay 401,000 dirhams, which is $109,000. Now I know we all like to have the full option and everything on it, and put all the mustard and dressings and everything on it car, and so everybody here is going to go for the S. But honestly speaking, when you're talking of an acceleration time difference of 1/10, why would you bother? Save yourself, nearly 10 grand and go for the regular car. It is cheaper than the M4 though, I believe, because I believe the M4 price is 420, 425. This is 401, so it's still cheaper, but it's still more expensive than a 911 Carrera, for example. Okay, let's go for a little bit of a pedal. Like I said, I'm going to put this into, let's go into sports first, and head straight out. Would help to put into drive. It's got automatic handbrake. There we go, we're moving, yes. Okay, now this is a lot of power. This is a lot of power in this car. It's, oh my word! And that's not even full throttle. That's not even full throttle. I don't know if you can hear that engine, but it punches a little bit. Oh wow! I mean, it's proper acceleration. Now this is a press car. It's got about 10,000 kilometers on it. A few scrapes I've noticed. So this car has been well used. I think the tires are very well scrubbed in. So I'm being a little bit tentative with this car because it's a lot of power. It's a little car. It's lighter weight. By the way, the engine compared to the previous C63 is 32% more fuel efficient, so that's quite good. And it's also lighter too. I think the whole thing is about 13 something kilograms, so it's not too bad. I think it saves a few kilograms over the previous car. So you go lower. See, and it's a bit lively at the back. It's a bit lively, so you have to think about it. You have to, keep your wits about you, because especially, like I said, I don't know if it's the tires on this are particularly scrubbed. People doing burnouts, which by the way are very easy to do on this car. Somebody told me, not that I would do such a thing, but somebody told me. But here we are, and we're diving into this corner. This is downhill, good brakes, leaning on the brakes. Now, transmission's doing a great job. 7-speed transmission there, doing a great job. Just left to its own devices. I do find that these recent Mercedes gearboxes have done a great job with them. Mercedes done a great job with them, and they work very, very well. But it does have pedals. So let's go into Sports Plus now. Here we go, and we'll go over onto pedals. So we're now into third gear, and oh my lord, that you immediately feel the change there. Wow, the direction changes. Harder than the brakes in here. Now again, you just feel it's a bit lively at the back. You just feel, that there's a little bit of movement there, perhaps a little bit more than you would like to see. And here we go. Just it's not like it goes out of shape or anything, but it just does a little bit. Woo, just a little bit of movement at the back, just to let you know that it is powerful and rear-wheel drive. And maybe the tires are not in the best shape. I don't know. I'm just guesstimating there. Now, the steering is nicely weighted and beautifully finished with this Alcantara trim on it. Flat bottom steering wheel, of course, as you'd expect from an AMG, and reasonably accurate. I mean, it's doing what I'm expecting it to do, and it's responsive as well, I gotta confess. Now, but one thing I will say is that there isn't as much feedback. I'm getting more feedback from my bottom, because the suspension now is rock hard, and from my ears, because there's a lot of thump and bump coming through, and you can hear, every aspect of the road. If I go onto the cat size, for example, you can hear those very, very clearly, but you can't feel them through the steering wheel. So there's, could do with a bit more feel. It changed up there. I thought it was in full manual. Oh, it's gone back to automatic. I've decided I'm being too lazy, and it is tremendously fast, tremendously powerful. Sounds great, and whoa, woo! Hard on the brakes, and you do get a little bit of crackling and popping from the exhaust pipe, which is nice. There you go. And back to manual. I don't have to keep it in manual. Probably there's a button I need to press. There's always buttons that there you go. Did you hear that? Bang! Bang! It's like a rally car. Woohoo! This is great. I mean, extremely lively, extremely fun. A lot of power. Maybe. Boom, boom. Love those gear changes. Now that I'm doing them manually, that's the advantage of doing them manually. The gearbox left to its own devices does a great job. So really you don't need it. But doing them manually is just more satisfying, because you can make it parp and bark and all the rest of it. Now, what I was going to say is that whilst I'm having quite a bit of fun here, and it is very, very quick, I do feel it's a little bit intimidating. It is a little bit intimidating. I mean, I'm not a highly skilled driver. I'm an experienced driver, I'm not a highly skilled driver, but I think like it needs a little bit of a racing driver's touch to really get the best out of it, and to have that extra amount of confidence to really, really push it. And I'm not quite getting that, and maybe that's from the steering. I'm not, I think probably that's what it is. It's just that extra percent of confidence that you would like in a car like this, with this much power and this much ability and this much potential. I just wish that there was a little bit more feel that would just give me a little bit more confidence to go deeper into the corners, which I think I can do. It's just that I can't feel that I can do it. Minor gripe though, minor gripe, and really probably somebody with more skill than me wouldn't find that to be much of an issue. But it is tremendously fast, tremendously fun, very, very punchy, quite lively, and look, we've already come to the end of the road. This is amazing. I mean, that took a lot longer than I thought it would do. And we're into the village as well. So let's go back into comfort mode and just talk to you a little bit. So overall, what would I say about this car? I think it's fantastic. I think it's a tremendously fun, compact little car. Now again, driving around town, put it into comfort mode, and it's actually very smooth, very comfortable, no issues at all. The boot's a bit of a joke because there's a massive tire in it. So they've done that old thing that SRT used to do, the Dodge thing, where they used to put the big old wheel in the back. But they used to put the big wheel in the back with the chrome wheels that were on display. This one's covered up. So it's not like you open the boot and you go, wow! You just open the boot and go, can't put my shopping in there. That's a bit annoying. So I'm sure you could put a space saver or have a puncture repair kit instead and take it out. So that could be a solution. Like I said, the rear seats are just occasional, but the compact size means that it's actually very practical and handy and useful to drive around town. 400,000 dirhams. Well, I think that's a lot of money. There is no doubt that that is a lot of money, and I would balk at that price. I do like the car. I like the way it looks. I like the way it sits. Certainly stands out from the saloon as well. So if you're in the market, if you're looking for something like this, if you've got your eye on this car, it's still got a V8. This is good news. It's still got a V8. And there's a hint of AMG GT, both in the engine and in the look of the car as well. If you look at the car at the front and that long bonnet with the ribs on it, you do, if you squint a little bit, you get a hint of, mini AMG GT. So that's quite nice as well. Would I get one? I've enjoyed driving the car. I've got a kick out of it. I'm glad I drove it. I probably wouldn't get it because I just think, it's a little on the expensive side, considering that it requires me to go to another level to really get the best out of it. And I think probably I'd get more kick out of a car by saving 200,000 dirhams, for example, and going for a Camaro SS in manual. And I think I would enjoy that and get more of a kick out of that, a lot more than this car. So that's basically my verdict. So thumbs up, but as long as you're okay with the money, because it's not cheap, this little beast of a machine, and it is a beast. So there's our review on the Mercedes C63S Coupe. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do check us out. We're on motoringme.com, and find us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, of course. Just search for Motoring Middle East, and if you're on YouTube, please do like, share, and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. You can also follow me, Shahzad Sheikh, on all of my channels, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the rest of it. And thanks so much for watching. Until the next one.